Hey Spuddies, PotatoMcWhiskey here, and welcome back to Let's Play Jon Shafers at the Gates as the Goths. Let's finish this turn up and get moving. So, we have our diggers out, we have a lot of stuff going on. We're just about to get our Master of Ceremony up, which means we're going to start getting more clans really quickly, which is really handy. So it's probably about time that we converted this wood bundler into an engineer. So let's go ahead and study the engineer profession, which is somewhere up here. We go, we've got 2 turns until we can get engineers. Now we are going to need some parchment for that. So we will need to wait for the... We'll need to wait for the caravan, and we can just start foraging for parchment with this guy. We've got an idle clan over here. This is my explorer. I want him to become a surveyor so that he can help with the production, the sort of revealing of resources, so that we can plan our future economy a little bit better. Keep sending these guys out to do this too. We'll get these guys to encamp for a turn so they don't take damage while they're out of supply, and we'll finish the turn. I really enjoy the micromanagement of your different units in this game, because it feels a lot more meaningful than just hitting end turn in, say, a standard game. So we're going to send these guys back. Looks like they desire to get warm. I have a few clans that are upset. These guys want to get into a warm place, so we'll put them back into the settlement. These guys are going to head out to get away from the settlement. And these guys are going to continue heading down this way. So you guys need to head back over here to become warm. Settlement is idle. And we'll just produce treasure for this turn. Now, because it's winter, our farm isn't producing any food. So we are losing quite a bit of food, but it should soon start to pick up. We have a sullen and reserved clan in here. So they never engage in feuds. And they're always upset. So we'll set these guys as settled because they're flexible and we can use them for whatever we want. I might turn them into engineers as well. You're going to go get inside the settlement as a you. I want you inside the settlement so that you're happy, because happy clans actually do more damage in combat as well. I'm going to get you guys over here to start exploring. And you're going to encamp for a turn. You can't get people to encamp for the whole winter, but I feel like it's quite valuable to keep them moving. I think the class I want to train them up into is a higher level, so I might need to spend a little bit of parchment to level them up. And when the caravan gets here, I can buy some parchment for a hopefully a pretty good price. Clans are idle. I want you to get into the settlement as well. I'll get you guys to encamp for a turn so you don't take damage. And I'll get you guys to encamp for a turn too. So we completely depleted this deer. It's completely fine to deplete deer because they don't really have much of a use. You can't build pastures on them. So these guys are now leveled up enough. And these guys are going to want to be leveled up as well in the crafting discipline so they can become engineers too. And let's have a look and see if we can do some upgrades for some of our classes. Particularly our gathering classes. I think it might be good to get some miners out relatively soon. We don't really have the boards, so I think it's about time we learned wood splitters so that we can start generating boards from our wood. Clans are idle here. Let's get you to enter the settlement. You guys are happy. So I want to get you guys out of here now. You're archers. And you're going to get... Oh, that was the wrong way. Oh, he's going to take some damage now, which sucks. You're going to identify the deposit. I misclicked there. I meant to move them there, which kind of sucks, but they'll take some damage. I wasn't planning on really using them until I healed them anyway. Let's get you guys to start moving. And you're going to skip a turn since you can't move because there's a snowstorm. You guys are waiting there. Let's start training you up to be probably brick makers. Or probably engineers or some other similar class. Maybe board makers or whatever they're called. Wood splitters, that's the one. You're still immobilized. So these guys are petty, so they will feud, and they're all thumbs, so they're not good at crafting. So I'll call these feud, no craft. So NC, no crafting. I might have them go build an iron mine for me, since we have the boards for it. So let's get these guys to become metal workers. Clans are idle. I'd love to move you, because sitting right here, they're more likely to start a feud. I want you to get you guys out, although these guys aren't very good. Might be better to do something else with them. I am definitely considering adding an apprentice slot here, so that I can produce more food from this place, but we'll kind of see about that. You guys need to encamp because you're out of supply, and we will let's see, study a profession. We need to start looking into maybe getting our hands on some steel tools, so it might be good to get some steel makers here, because that'll convert steel and iron into coal. Or sorry, coal and iron into steel. So we'll just start unlocking steel makers, and we'll finish the turn here. Got the caravan in a couple of turns, so that's when spring should arrive. We're in late February, it's still quite cold. Let's get you guys moving a little. I just want to... Oh, that was not what I meant to do, although I'm actually kind of fine with you being there. And... it's going to have you guys park outside. I'm going to have you guys dig in here, because there's not really much use for you. And let's see. You're all thumbs, so you don't want to be a crafter, but you can be perfectly suited to becoming a miner. I do want to train you another turn, though, before I do that. We want to get our iron mine up. Clans are idle. Looks like this guy is going to manage to explore it before these guys can really do anything. They're too slow, really, to do anything. So... it might be better if I trained these guys as gatherers. And then brought these guys back to become an apprentice in here. I'm going to send you guys over here to encamp. I totally did not mean to move you guys. I thought I'd cancelled that move, but you're going to take some damage now, which sucks. Because now I have 3 clans I need... well, I have 4 clans, technically, I need to heal. You get into a supply. We've got Obstinate and Epicure. So these guys are settled. I've got some feuding clans, which sucks because now I'm going to have to punish this clan. I don't want to punish these guys because they're producing my stone. They're producing my coal. So I'm going to have to punish these guys, which really, really sucks. Which strips them of all their skills and it makes them more upset. But that's what they get for starting a feud. This means they're going to produce less for me. So now I don't want them to be iron miners. Now I want them to be something other than iron miners. You'll go gather here. You come back and become a farmer. These guys, I think I'll turn them into wood splitters. Let's train them up a little bit first. You're going to go here and then dig in. Looks like we revealed a grove of fruit trees. That's not what we were hoping for. Let's sell off all our wood. We'll sell off our excess coal. And we'll buy the 10 armor. We'll upgrade the caravan. We'll sell some stone blocks. We only need to have at least 20 in stockpile, which is fine. We'll sell the horses because we don't have really a use for them. We will buy the parchment so that we can upgrade that clan that we wanted to do. And we'll buy some cloth as well, just because we have a hard time producing it. We'll get oil, because oil is always useful for healing up some of our damaged clans, like these guys. And we'll finish the turn. Okay, let's train these guys as wood splitters. Bionas, you know, may train steel makers, that's fine. And you'll go identify this deposit. Hopefully it's flax. You're going there. You're going here to become a farmer so that you can join this grove. This is not quite yet producing because it's still cold. Which kind of sucks, but there's really not much option here. It's still early April, which means it's quite cold out. Oh, I did it the wrong way around. Whoops. These guys, I might actually train them as one of the support classes here. I think it's gardeners, which will double the amount of fruit we produce. So let's get some gardeners going. It might be better than assigning them as a apprentice here. I want to go identify this. You're going to dig in here, and we'll finish the turn. All right, clans are idle. You're going to go identify that deposit. So we now have boards production, although these guys are a little bit upset because so they don't produce quite as much as they should. Clan Alram here is a feuder. Well, so we just want to get them out of the settlement. I think I might, although they want to be in, they want to be the resident of a structure. So I don't think I need wood bundlers anymore, so I'm going to get an engineer so that I produce more from this, for example. We do need more food and other resources. You are my cooperative guy. You're my less cooperative guy, so I want to send you over there. So that was a feud we just had. Basically, these guys and these guys got into a fight, and I had to pick which one of them I wanted to favor, or both of them would be upset, and I chose to favor these guys because they were producing more important resources. And now that these guys are upset, it means I'm not really going to be able to use them for resource production, so I might just throw them into a throwaway profession like a watchman. So you're going to go in there, you're going to enter settlement, and we're going to train you. Can we upgrade our gardeners? Spend 10 boards or 5 steel tools. We've got tillers too. They double the production of all farms. What's the upgrade for them? It takes boards and steel tools. I think we'll go with gardeners here. So you're heading down here to gather that little bit of food. You're identifying this deposit for me. You're getting retrained as a gardener, although I do need to train you in a discipline first. We do have the engineer up, which is increasing the production of all of these buildings, which is always nice. Let's see, I think it could be good to get ranchers unlocked in case this is a useful animal other than deer. Deer are not very useful. We identified a grove of fruit trees. That was super not what we were looking for. We may as well identify this mineral deposit while we're nearby. And train you as a gardener. take 2 turns, which is about as long as it would take if we were to train them and then train them. So we'll just do it that way. Now, plowers are quite useful, but we don't have access to horses, which sucks. So we have ranchers as an option. I think it would be good to upgrade our blacksmiths. No. Wood splitters and brick makers now would be a good time to upgrade. So we will... Let's do coal makers. They take only tools. Well, I need more tools. So let's prioritize upgrading our blacksmiths, which takes 5 boards or 5 steel. So we should be able to do the boards either next turn or the turn after. And that'll give us a little bit more tools per turn. So these guys are nervous and attentive. They're good explorers, so they'll just be settled. Which means they're flexible and I can use them for whatever I want to use them for. These guys are certainly loners. Let's go identify that deposit. Then you're going to encamp for a turn. We're no longer producing from these. We used up all the deer. We could train them as fishermen. We got the blacksmith's upgrade. Let's go ahead and get the miner upgrade. And we want to go in here and upgrade the blacksmith so he produces more. We have some settled and feuders. These guys are basically going to be useless for me because they're just going to keep getting into feuds. So I might just ignore them for now while I get more important things going. So hopefully this gardener will double our food production to the point where we're stabilizing a little bit. You can see now we're only losing 0.2 food per turn. We'll get you to forage and now we're at a food surplus. That's quite good. Sell off all this wood. Stone blocks are worth quite a bit more, so we'll sell 20. We have an excess of coal, so we'll sell that. Iron is a little bit touch and go for us. I do want to get the fine cloth, but it's kind of expensive right now, and there's none in the shop, actually. We could get some more horses. We could get some alcohol. We could get some meat. I think I'll get 10 meat, just to sort of give me a few turns of buffer there. And... I could get flax. I could buy the flax I need to make oil. But I don't like doing that. I don't like fueling my economy, my sort of production on things that I buy. I much prefer to produce what I can and then buy what I need. So it's always good to have a little bit of extra parchment. So we'll go up to 50 parchment and we'll go up to 50 cloth. Let's get a little bit of steel because there are some upgrades that are dependent on that. And we'll get just 10 boards as well so that we can upgrade a few things out of boards. Other upgrade resources, all these are fine, I think, for now. So we definitely want to upgrade the... We could get a toolsmith up, which is twice as productive as a blacksmith at the cost of 10 steel. And I think we will go ahead and do that. This way we don't have to invest any more resources into upgrading this guy. Let's see, so you're helping our food production. These guys, I think I want to use these guys as some throwaway profession. I'll just train them as an explorer and then send them out to die. Because they're so upset they're not really much use to me. Okay, you guys head this way. We'll finish the turn. Clans are idle. Keep exploring. Looks like we found more deer, which is far from ideal. We may as well go extract some use out of them. Deer are an expendable resource. You can't really build pastures around deer, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. You will encamp for a turn. You are going to keep harvesting wood for me because I'm just trying to keep these guys busy. Although I could bring them back and turn them into engineers, which would increase my production. Since I have enough wood collection actually right now, I'm going to bring them back. And you're just going to go here and grab me parchment, because parchment's a little bit more valuable, and we can get cloth whenever we need it from the trader. 17 food per turn. We have such a large surplus, like food storage now, that we don't get much from our excess production, but that's fine. All right, let's get you moving. Let's bring you back if we can. Looks like some gifts are going on. People are trading with each other and stuff like that. Did I get the second upgrade for farmers? I did not. So we have another Epicure and Sullen, which we can just use for settle. They do have a production malice, but we can fix that later. It's only a 10%. Ooh, we identified a large coal deposit. Not really super useful, since we already have, we can generate the coal we need from wood. So I just want to get you out of here. Dead to me. So these guys are basically dead to me. They're not really much use. They've made themselves a nuisance. I did try to train them in something to make them useful, but they turned themselves into a nuisance. They got into a feud, and now they're permanently upset, and they produce half as much resources as they should. They're not very good as soldiers. Basically, they're no use to me. So what do I want to use? Now, I could declare a kingdom, but I don't think I want to declare a kingdom here. I think I'd rather declare a kingdom somewhere down here, if I could. Because when you declare a kingdom, you can't move around your settlement anymore. So how close are you to depleting this? It's pretty close to depleting these. I think I'm going to bring this guy in to become a miner now. Well, this guy is actually much nicer. So I'll let him finish off this peat deposit in one turn. Right now, we have brickmaker, we have wood splitters, and we have engineers. I'd like to start building more stone buildings. I'm trying to identify a resource that would be particularly useful. I think this iron deposit would be really useful. So let's train another miner. These Epicure people aren't really great for that. These guys are actually pretty good surveyors. So let's get them in the discovery profession and get them just identifying some of these deposits out here. Right, we have toolsmiths. Let's upgrade you into toolsmiths. Oh, I need to cancel this clan training. And we'll turn these guys into toolsmiths, which will double the amount of production they have, but it will hurt them in other ways. We'll use up a lot more iron. And then we'll study bladesmiths would be useful at some point as well. Having an excess of tools means that we can upgrade our buildings so that our border control range is wider, which means that we don't have to move our settlement around quite as much. So you're dead to me. I could go gather. I could go send you to gather from these. This one's closer. I'll go send you there, just so you're producing a little bit of food for us. That was the wrong clan. We've also got a deposit over here that I want to identify. So I don't want you guys to land on this farm, because there's only a few. It can only produce so many turns in a year, and hurting them would be annoying. These guys are moving back to become another engineer for me. You are going there to identify this deposit. So We'll have our toolsmiths now, and we'll produce a lot more tools, but we will use up a lot more iron. So these guys degraded the peat deposit, so now it's less productive, so we're going to get them out of here and turn them into a miner to build a permanent mine on this iron so that we have an excess of iron in our empire. You're coming back to be retrained as well. And you're just getting ready to do some exploration for me. You're identifying this deposit. A caravan has arrived, and we would like to maybe get our hand on a little bit more steel. Let's sell off our wood. We don't need that many stone blocks in storage. We don't need that many boards in storage. We can sell our coal. We'll buy a little bit of steel just to make sure we have an excess. I'll get some fine cloth since we can't produce it. I'll get some oil since we can't produce it. And I'll get some... I don't need steel armor yet. I don't need steel weapons yet. It would be good to get spearmen up. So I might buy just a bunch of weapons. I need to figure out what I want to do with these guys. Well, they kind of want to be inside the thing. These guys could be useful as weaponsmiths, so I might train them in metalworking. Again, I like to have a metalworking and crafting heavy economy, and then just have just enough food production that I need. Oh, right. I'm not producing any coal. I'm not producing these because I sold all my coal and my wood. Right. I need to wait a turn until I have it, and then that'll restore the yeah, there you go. So very small mistake there, but it's not a big deal. It works itself out in the end. I got a gift from Rome. I'm not sure that's actually working. I think that might actually be a bug, which is kind of odd. You go there. Wood collector. Enter settlement, retrain you as a engineer. She does take 40 parchment, but we did buy a lot of parchment so that we could do that. And then you're going to enter settlement and become something else too. Although, yeah, you're just a regular metal worker. You don't get engaged in feuds. One thing about crossing rivers is they take... You lose a turn when you enter a river tile. So you have to be careful, because if you enter a river tile during winter, it can be quite dangerous, because you might run out of supply. We can now train bladesmiths, which is handy. I'll get you moving up to there. We'll study a profession. Let's see, toolsmiths require boards. I think it would be a good idea to get our farmers upgraded and our gardeners upgraded. They take steel tools and boards. So let's get the farmers upgraded so that we can just have a little bit more food and less worry about it. Although it is heading into winter, so they're not going to be as productive because they don't make anything in winter. So it's a little bit of a dead upgrade, but it's fine. Let's identify this mineral deposit. It might be something useful. And I think it's about time we unlocked spearmen. We don't quite have the stuff to make men-at-arms, which are quite a bit more powerful than spearmen, but I think we've sat on archers for long enough, I think. Let's train these guys as miners. Although I could... Yeah, I want the productive guys to be miners. I could also ennoble them to make them more productive, which I think is actually an okay investment. Because it makes them happy, and then they're better at producing. Basically, you can see here they get a 1/4 increase to their production because they're happy, which is really, really nice. Which means we have more stuff we can sell, which means we can buy more stuff, and so on and so forth. Let's also spend the boards to upgrade this, so when the spring comes around, they'll actually be able to produce. And they'll be able to produce much more effectively, because my clan is starting to demand more and more food, and we need to keep them supplied. This guy is a loyal haggler. Okay, great. This is actually a trader, so let's make them a trader, and we'll make them purple. So we're going to work on turning them into traders. And this miner is going to go get that iron online. You are going to encamp for a turn. You're going to encamp for a turn. The settlement is idle. I'd like these guys to be something useful. Probably a bladesmith. Even though they're a little upset because they're sullen. We can start to fix that later. Let's train them in metalworking. Parchment is a pretty important resource that we're not generating right now, which is kind of why I'm hoping for a pasture unit that I can turn into stuff like parchment and stuff. We can now train spearmen. Let's bring these guys back to get them up, repaired and upgraded. What's this? Found another stone deposit. Not super useful. Really would like other kinds of deposits. Looks like we found a vast beehive, which means it takes a very long time to deplete by harvesting it. And we have this guy who wants to become a trader. I want you to be a bladesmith. We have our spearmen now. I'm trying to think. We'll want parchment makers pretty soon so that we can train some of these more advanced professions that take parchment. And once you start getting a parchment economy up, you can start training guys who will let you remove negative traits from your units, which is really, really nice. Identified a herd of pigs. Excellent. So pigs, I'm pretty sure we can make parchment from pigs. Let's see. Yeah, 6 parchment from 1 pig, which is really, really nice. So we're going to immediately bring this guy home to turn him into a rancher, although we'll have to wait until he's finished encamping. Yeah, he's a feuder, so we want him to be a rancher. This is my surveyor. We'll move you over towards this unidentified deposit. You're going to encamp for a turn. You're making your way back to become a spearman and get healed. You're encamping to heal up. And now you... Okay, you need to be trained one more time. Okay, we can do that. That's fine, it's not a big deal. But you can see now we're producing a lot of tools, which is really, really nice because we can sell them. We can now train clans as parchment makers. You're going to become a bladesmith. Bladesmiths are important because we can do things like fortifying our settlements so they have a wider range, which means we don't have to move our settlement around quite as much, which is... I don't think I need to explain how handy that is. We have an unidentified animal deposit over here. Let's send you in that general direction. You're going to encamp for a turn. And you're a feuder, so I don't want you standing on any tiles with other clans. Even if it is only for a turn or two. It looks like we found some neutrals. A neutral logging camp that we could go conquer. Which is interesting. Parchment maker. So in terms of upgrades, I'd like to get an upgrade on my gardeners so that we would get even more food during the summer, which would help alleviate any food troubles we're having. So we're going to upgrade the gardener here. It's going to cost us 10 boards. We don't quite have access to the steel tools. I might try to buy 5 steel tools. I'd also like to upgrade my priests here. Or we could go straight to cleric. But we need a lot more oil. So it might be worth it to upgrade my priests to give me a little bit more knowledge. Or even my masters of ceremony. It does take fine cloth and treasure, though. We do have the treasure and the additional fame. I don't think I need extra fame right now. I'm having a bit of trouble kind of getting all my clans out into the field and being useful. Because there's a lot of retraining going on and some of them are not very useful. Okay. But for sure, we're off to a great start here. We're very slightly stagnating, but it's mainly because we're waiting around for certain critical things to happen. So I'd like to move you in there, but you can't actually move this turn, so I'll just skip. But I'm going to call that the end of this episode. You can see we actually have a bit of a peninsula to ourselves that we can choose to exploit however we want. I think we will probably look to move down towards the Alemanni here and see if we can get a couple of trading routes up, because we do have someone that we want to train as a trader, these guys. And in fact, I'll get that started so that we can start generating just raw gold, which is very, very handy to have, I must say. You're going to encamp for a turn. You're going to identify this deposit. And we'll call that the end of the episode. I want to thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you guys are enjoying this series of Jon Shafers at the Gates. Please remember to subscribe if you want to see more videos from me. Remember to leave a like if you want to directly support my channel. And remember to leave a comment if you want to give me your feedback. Other than that, I want to say I love you all very much. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.